Well, they learned about it in textbooks, but now a group of Okanagan High School students can say they've seen a part of Canada's history up close. The 38 students visited Vimy Ridge in France last week, where they took part in ceremonies marking the 90th anniversary of one of Canada's greatest war victories. April Lawrence talked to some of the students today, including one young man who got to play a special part in those ceremonies.
It's a sea of green as thousands of Canadian students, all wearing the same memorial uniforms, march onto the Vimy Ridge grounds in France. Somewhere in this massive crowd are 38 students from Penticton and Summerland. The Okanagan group who took this home video flew overseas last week to take part in the 90th anniversary of the Battle of Vimy Ridge.
We all marched in, and so there's all just everybody in green, just like a whole crowd of us, and we all just stood there and remembered the soldiers and represented them.
More than 3,500 Canadian men lost their lives during the Battle of Vimy Ridge in April 1917. Each of the students wore a name tag representing one of those soldiers. Grade 11 Penn High student Mark Tileman was one of 5 students from across the country chosen to read a tribute he wrote to his soldier at the ceremony.
I read my tribute to the fallen soldier, Stanley Tyers, who was only 18 when he died, and I was quite proud to do that, actually, to speak and tell this man's story.
The students say the whole day was overwhelming, from seeing Vimy Ridge itself.
It was amazing to see how, well, first of all, how big it was. You don't realize, and you see pictures of it, it looks small in pictures, but when you're actually there, it's really big.
To the entire crowd breaking into an impromptu rendition of the Canadian anthem. And even meeting war heroes and royalty.
I got to be up on the second row before the fences where all the veterans were, and one of the veterans came and started talking to us, and I was just in complete awe. It was like being in greatness.
Just the whole fact that I was there for a speech of the Queen was very significant.
Of course, the goal of the trip was educational. The students all learned about the Battle of Vimy Ridge and other major Canadian battles before they left for France, but seeing it firsthand brought that history to life.
These kids, they just soaked it up and had so many questions about different aspects of both World War II and World War I battles yeah, that's Canadian history.
It's such a more intimate level that you get to experience history, and you get a true sense that this actually was part of our past and this happened, and it's not something which you just read about in a history book.
With fewer and fewer war veterans still around to tell their stories, there's a threat the memories of Canada's military past will fade. But these students say they will never forget, and they hope others won't either.
It definitely made me want to pay more respect to the people who fought for us and just remember them.
Well, I just hope they take the time to learn about our history and how it came about, because it would be nothing without what happened then.
In Penticton, April Lawrence, CHBC News.